Hello, this is Dias and a new author story from my channel Russian Revenge Story. You're stupid, Lenka. We could have met and hung out some more. Didn't you like the way we were relaxing? Sasha, what are you saying? You're kidding, right? Sasha looked at her with a mocking look. Listen, honestly, you understand things much better in bed than in life. Did you think I'd marry you right away? Is that why you tried to get pregnant? Tears ran from Lena's eyes. I didn't try, Sasha. I really didn't try on purpose. But since God gave us our baby, Sasha interrupted her. Well, since God gave you one, then go to your God. Let him raise and feed you. Lena felt her beautiful and rainbow world crumbling. This simply couldn't happen. After all, Sasha loved her. He read her touching poems and said such beautiful words. Sasha, I don't understand. Are you leaving me? The guy raised his hands up. You finally realized it. It must be a difficult task for you to live with such a slowed down brain. I'm not just leaving you, but I also want you to not even try to appear in my way. Got it? Here's some money. Have an abortion. And don't whine anymore. You've had enough of me. You should have thought about it earlier. Who are you anyway? So that I could marry you. And the child. Do you think I need a child from someone like you? From what? Lena asked barely audibly. From the grey. You see, there are people, and there is a grey mass that will always live in a swamp. And you are such a grey mass. And from a village swamp, too. Sasha threw an envelope on her lap and immediately headed for the car. Lena jumped up, wanting to run after him, to explain that he had understood everything incorrectly, that he would have a child, but Sasha quickly got into the car and drove away. The girl looked at the envelope, opened it, dollars fell on her lap. So Sasha understood everything correctly and even prepared for this conversation. How much time had passed, she did not know. Young lady, are you feeling unwell? Lena looked up and saw a man in front of her, about 40 years old, or maybe a little older. He looked familiar. Wait, you are a student. Oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you. Excuse me, I'll go. It was her teacher, who had come to the institute only this year. Lena did not remember him at all, as she was immersed in her love for Sasha and had lost interest in everything else. She took a few steps and almost fell, but the man managed to catch her. No, that won't do. Where do you live? In a hostel? But that's the other end of town. He looked at his watch. The metro isn't working anymore. Look, my dear girl, come to my place. I'll give you some tea. You're completely frozen. Lena didn't have the strength to resist, so she obediently leaned on his arm, remembering his name. Thank you, Nikolai Ivanovich. You remembered. Good. And what's your name? Elena. Let's go, Elena. My house is already in sight. Finding herself in Nikolai Ivanovich's apartment, Lena noted its harmonious, unobtrusive beauty, as if she had ended up in the Middle Ages. You know, when it's cozy at home, loneliness doesn't feel so acute, the man said with slight sadness. These words touched Lena's soul, and the girl couldn't hold back her tears. Nikolai Ivanovich was confused, but he realized that something serious had happened to her, probably an unsuccessful love. He quickly sat Lena down at the table. Let's have some tea. After taking the first sip, Lena looked at Nikolai Ivanovich. Elena, what happened to you? If you don't want to tell, you don't have to. But sometimes, if you talk it out, it gets easier. Lena confidentially told him her story. By the end of the story, the girl could hardly keep her eyes open. Nikolai Ivanovich stood up. There's the bedroom. Make yourself comfortable, and I'll sleep in the living room. In the morning, we'll think about how you'll live on. You don't need to think about it today. You need a good deep sleep. And not only you. Lena looked at him with gratitude and surprise, touched by his concern not only for her, but also for her child, about whom no one knew yet. She fell asleep instantly as soon as she touched the pillow. In the morning, remembering where she was, Lena became alarmed. Lord, what should I do? And Nikolai Ivanovich is here. Coming out into the living room, the girl smelled the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Nikolai Ivanovich greeted her with a warm smile. Elena, I was about to wake you up. I was afraid that I would have to settle for a cold breakfast. Thank you, but I'm not hungry. Of course we are hungry. No need to be shy. Sit down, eat. Lena smiled gratefully and sat down. Nikolai Ivanovich looked at her thoughtfully. Elena, I would like to have a serious talk with you. I think you might be interested in my offer. 25 years later. Be patient. Alexander Yehorovich. It's coming soon. It's close. Sasha winced in pain. The doctor had warned him that without a timely operation, everything could end badly, but he hadn't listened, and now his personal doctor had arrived 2 minutes before the ambulance. Alexander Igorovich, I understand everything, but there is one doctor who works miracles. She works at Mission's clinic. I'm calling now. Alexander leaned back in his chair. It was unpleasant for him to realize that his life would now be in the hands of a little-known person, and a woman at that, after his wife had tried not only to run away from him but also to take all his property. He had become distrustful of the female sex. Now he was alone, wealthy, but absolutely lonely. He tried not to show how much this was putting pressure on him. He needed to maintain his image. When his parents were alive, it was easier, but then they went on holiday to African countries and caught some fever there. While the doctors were sorting things out, they were gone. This made Alexander even more disgusted with medicine. The ulcer was discovered unexpectedly. It was not critical. The doctor insisted on an examination and surgery, but Alexander kept putting it off. Now he is waiting for an ambulance and does not know if he will ever return to this office. By the time he was taken to the hospital, Alexander almost lost consciousness. He was immediately sent to the operating room. Fortunately, his personal doctor arrived with him with all the papers. Alexander even tried to pray, but he did not know the prayers. He watched the medical staff scurrying around him out of the corner of his eye. At some point, everyone concentrated around the table on which he was lying. Alexander felt a mask on his face and met the eyes of the doctor who approached. He immediately recognized those eyes. When the doctor walked away from the table, she picked up the papers and reread the patient's name. She didn't know him, but she immediately understood who was in front of her. Elena Arkadyevna, as always, top notch. Oh, stop it. A common ulcer. How many of those have we mended together? Well, you can't say that. Today I watched some kind of android robot at work. Not a single unnecessary movement or word. Soon we will set a record for the fastest, highest quality operation. Lena smiled. Do you have a cigarette? Her colleague looked at her with huge eyes. You don't smoke, do you? I don't smoke, but sometimes, when I need to calm my nerves, I indulge. They went outside. The man handed over a cigarette, lit one himself, then asked, Do I understand correctly that the person we operated on is your friend? That's right. You know, I hated him for many years. You shouldn't have operated on him. You can't. Lena, I urgently need to go abroad to work. Such a chance comes once in a lifetime, but I can miss it because that clinic prefers to hire family people. I propose that you marry me. We will count it as medical practice. You will give birth. I will give the child a name. Believe me, I will not offend you, and you will have everything you could ever dream of. In 3 years we will return, and then you will decide whether to divorce me or leave everything as is. The abandoned pregnant student expected anything but not such a proposal. Nikolai said that they had 1 week to think it over, and they both needed it to get to know each other well. They walked a lot, talked, sat in restaurants, and Lena did not understand why such a wonderful man was not married, and Nikolai prayed for one thing, that she would not refuse him, because there was no time left to choose a bride. His trip was a done deal. They became real husband and wife a year later. Not once, not for a single moment, did Lena regret her decision. 5 years later, they had a daughter, and Lena's son immediately somehow grew up, because he felt responsible for his sister. A few days passed. Lena tried not to appear in Sasha's ward, but then she had to, because the patient himself demanded the attending physician. "Did you call me? I'm listening." "Lena, how long will you pretend that we don't know each other?" Sasha smiled and tried to take her hand. She gently pulled away and asked, "If these are all the questions for me, then I'll go." "Wait, why are you so little, remembering only what happened so many years ago? Everything is different now. The times are different, and we are different. Are you married?" Lena looked at him in amazement, but he wasn't joking. He seriously believed that Lena was still interested in him. She smiled. "Forgive me, Alexander Igorovich, but it's none of your business." She turned around and went to the door. He even sat up in bed. "Understand, I'll still get what I need. I always get everything." He tried his best. Every day flowers appeared in the office. Every day, with enviable regularity, she took them out to the nurse's station. Sasha saw all this, but he couldn't talk to Lena. Then he decided to lie in wait for her on the street. Fortunately, he was already allowed to walk. He didn't find out anything about her, because none of this mattered. He felt that now only he and she existed, and there could be no one else. While he was standing, he watched the birds. The sparrows were fighting and chirping loudly. Sasha thought, just like people. But he didn't get to watch the scene to the end. A white Lexus drove up almost to the porch, and the sparrows flew away. Lena got out of the car. "Lena," she turned to him. "Sasha, what do you need?" "To talk. Give me a little of your attention." "You have 2 minutes." "And you've become tough." "Lena, listen. Too, when I saw you, I realized that nothing had changed. I still like you. I think we need to try again." "I'm not interested." Sasha was surprised. "But you love me so much. You just need to remember." "Sasha, leave me alone. I really hoped that I would never see you again in my life." Lena wanted to leave, but Sasha grabbed her hand. "Lena, you don't understand what you're giving up." The door of the white SUV slammed, and a young man appeared next to them. Sasha froze in surprise and let go of Lena's hand. He was standing in front of him, only younger. "Mom, are you having problems?" "No, no, son. Everything is fine." The man felt a little sick. "Let's go." "Yes, let's go." Dad and Genya were already waiting for us at the restaurant. Sasha slowly sat down on the step. Something told him that not a single attempt would be successful. The guy sat his mother down, and then returned to Sasha. He looked at him attentively, and Sasha felt a wave of hope that now the guy would be very interested in why they were so similar, and Sasha would confess everything. "Alexander Igorovich, you see, I am very inquisitive, and that is why I have long known who you are to me. I beg you, do not come near our family, otherwise I will have to prevent you from doing so. All the best." The car had long since driven away, and Sasha was still sitting there. Well, is this it? Happiness? Pockets full of money, and the contempt of someone who should not have been in this world because Sasha wanted it so much. If you liked the story, please support me with a like. And to learn about the release of new, interesting stories, subscribe to my channel. All the best to you. Thank you for watching.